What's going on, everyone? Bryce Owens here with the Sports Forum, bringing you our premier bet for the Rockies versus Mariners series. Instead of doing one bet for you guys that covers one game, this is going to be a different type of video. I'm going to do a quick breakdown of the series as a whole, going game by game. But for more information on this series, go to sportsforumdenver.com and read my article for the Rockies versus Mariners series. But let's get right into it. With the Mariners, they're coming into this series on a very slow start. They're at 9-10. They're expected to compete in the AL the entire season. They are coming off a 3-game sweep of the Reds, though, so a lot of momentum is on their side, but they are just not playing to the best of their ability, and a lot of that has to do with what we talked about with them coming into the season. It's the struggling offense. They're 26th in batting average, 25th in slugging percentage, 23rd in stolen bases. They are 16th in home runs, but even that's just about average in the league, so their offense is off to a slow start. They're being carried by the pitching staff, which is above average in team ERA at 3.93 runs. Their bullpen is 6th best in the MLB at 2.93. They have the 2nd best team whip and the 9th best batting average allowed. So the pitching staff is carrying this team, but they could be so much better if this offense could just turn it around, which is possible against the Rockies' 30th ranked pitching staff, which, for those who don't know, 30th is last in baseball. So they're playing the worst pitching staff in baseball in Coors Field, known for giving up a lot of runs. But for the Rockies, to their credit, in their 15 losses, 9 of them have been within 2 runs. They've actually been relatively competitive so far this season. They just haven't been able to get the job done late in games, and a lot of that has to do with youth and just lack of talent. They're just not good enough to win late games execution so far this season. But this offense is very solid. They're top 10 in a lot of categories. They're top 10 in batting average. They're carried by Ezekiel Tovar and Ryan McMahon, one of the best left sides of the infield in all of baseball when you look at their numbers. McMahon in particular leads the team in batting average, RBIs, doubles. He's had an all-star start to the season for the Rockies at third base. But let's break down each game just to see how this series is going to go. We think it could be a positive one for the Rockies for once. We think this could be one where the Rockies maybe get their first series win of the season, starting with Game 1, April 19th at 6:40 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. You've got Emerson Hancock for the Mariners going against Dakota Hudson for the Rockies. The Rockies actually have the pitching advantage. Hudson's been one of the more consistent guys for them this season with a 4.15 ERA, going against Hancock with a 7.98. So the pitching advantage is on the Rockies side for this one. The batting is already on the Rockies side, and to their credit, they've been very good in the first game of the series so far this season. They covered in a lot of them. They've won a couple of them so far this season. I do think this is going to be a higher scoring game. In the first game of the series, 6 out of the series, 4 of them have been over 10 runs scored. So the higher scoring series for this one, most likely for the Rockies versus Mariners. And we like the Rockies' chances of covering this one. They've covered in a lot of first games so far this season, so this is a really good start to the series for the Rockies. But then it turns for the worse in Game 2. This is when we see the Rockies probably losing this one. It's Castillo versus Freeland, 2 pitchers not off to the season they were hoping for. Castillo's at a 5.82 ERA with an 0-4 record. Kyle Freeland 0-3 with a 13.21 ERA. That's awful. It can't be good for Kyle Freeland feeling this start of the season with his record and ERA. But to his credit, he's gotten better every start, but he is coming into this one with a banged up right shoulder after pinch running in the Phillies series. So he's coming into this one a little bit injured, something to keep an eye on. The Rockies have also not been very good in second games of series as they're 0-6 so far this year. This is another one where we see a lot of runs being scored. The Rockies probably don't cover this one. They haven't covered in a single Game 2 of a series so far this year. So this one is going to the Mariners. And then finally, Game 3, April 21st, 1:10 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. You've got George Kirby for the Mariners taking on Cal Quantrill for the Rockies. Quantrill is coming off one of his best games of the season. Same with Kirby. Both are coming off one of the best games of the season. Quantrill gave up 1 run in 6 innings pitched his last start. Kirby, 2 runs in 6 innings pitched. So both pitchers are coming off really solid outings. This is a game where you see a lot of bench guys in the lineup for both teams. And with that, the Rockies bench is a little bit better than the Mariners bench when you look at their offensive production so far this season. It should be a lower scoring game because of that. It's been a lot of low scoring games for the Rockies in the last game of the series anyway, and they've done a very good job of covering. They're 3-3 covering last games of series so far this season. So we really like the under in this one, And we kind of like the Rockies' chances of covering this one and maybe even squeaking out a win. It's going to depend on how that bullpen holds up over the course of a full game. But we like the Rockies' chances in at least 2 of these 3 games. So again, just quick breakdown for this series. Rockies, we like them to cover at least 2 of them. We like the over in at least 2 of these games. And I think it's worth a chance taking the Rockies on the money line as dogs in at least 2 of these starts. So bet safe, everyone. Don't bet what you can't afford to lose. Good luck on this series. This bet is powered by Diamond Club Baseball as well. Head over to diamondclubbaseball.com for all the classes and everything they have going on. So thank you to them for sponsoring this bet. Good luck on those bets, everyone. Have a fun series watching this one, and let's make some money.